Tonight, I am extending an open hand to work with members of both parties, Democrats and Republicans, to protect our citizens of every background, color, religion, and creed. My duty, and the sacred duty of every elected official in this chamber, is to defend Americans, to protect their safety, their families, their communities, and their right to the American dream. Because Americans are dreamers too.
Well, this morning when Dan Bongino and I were huddled around the coffee pot in the other tent, Dan, you said that was the line of the night.
That was it. That was it. I mean, if that was a Democrat State of the Union speech, the line would have been Americans are deplorables too. I mean, it speaks to the difference. But, the Democrats have owned us for decades on messaging. Finally, we were just talking about this, Donald Trump has turned the corner and learned how to talk. We're not talking about 401ks in a methadone clinic anymore. We're talking like real people talk. Americans are dreamers. Americans are back. Right. And the Democrats will stick with the deplorable stuff. We'll stick with the dreamer stuff.
You were saying during the commercial that Donald Trump is teaching Americans how to fight, how to win, not be a doormat. He let the government shut down because he felt so strongly about immigration. He passed this tax reform. People are getting bonuses, and he's winning.
It's not who Donald Trump is. It's how he communicates that the left still doesn't get. I was having a conversation last night, and someone said to me, it's interesting that Trump is richer than Mitt Romney, and yet nobody treats Trump like the rich guy because it's not about his money. It's about how he talks and relates to people. Nobody cares that he's worth.
And how do we know that? Because he used to tell everybody, "I'm richer than Mitt Romney." But here's the other thing he brought up. The fact is, the numbers don't lie. Black and Hispanic unemployment is at all-time lows. But when that line was read, they didn't react. Everyone sat on their hands, including Julian Castro and others.
Yeah. There were a lot of really disgraceful moments last night on the Democrats' part. I was very upset. I mean, I'm a partisan actor. I don't claim to be down the middle. But you've had inner cities absolutely ruined, minority populations in inner cities. These are American citizens whose lives have been decimated by big government. Finally, Donald Trump, of all people, turns it around. Black unemployment at historically low levels. Right. And the Congressional Black Caucus can't get up and apply. I mean, is this not a nonpartisan issue?
Well, they're upset about his comments with Charlottesville, and they're upset about what he allegedly said to Dick Durbin.
Yeah, but are they upset about results? You have black men and women who now are in an employment environment where they can be prosperous for their kids and live in the America all of the rest of us live in. We've been living in two Americas, liberal America in inner cities and our America. Donald Trump has brought the two together.
Well, obviously the Democrats made a political decision. They wouldn't stand for anything that would make the president look good or to make it look like they're united. Luis Gutierrez actually left the chamber when people were chanting USA, USA. Just got up and left.
Well, at one point, he talks about
anyway.
He's
running for president.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they never really retire; they just retire up. Right. But what happened there was interesting because he mentioned also standing for the national anthem. Yeah. And who stands? Only the Republicans. Like you would think the Democrats, just for that, would say, "Okay, we can all agree."
The president did sign an executive order making sure that people understand that Gitmo is going to be open for business during his term. He also said this about terrorists.
Terrorists who do things like place bombs in civilian hospitals are evil. When possible, we have no choice but to annihilate them. When necessary, we must be able to detain and question them. But we must be clear. Terrorists are not merely criminals. They are unlawful enemy combatants.
So that means they go to Gitmo now. Now, my question is, the next time somebody, an ISIS member, runs over someone in a bike path or tries to blow up people at the Port Authority with a pipe bomb, do we put them in Gitmo? Or are we going to keep putting them in our prisons?
Well, obviously, it depends who it is. If it's an American citizen, it's not going to be an option. But this is the kind of language Americans expect from the commander-in-chief. These are terrorists. We're not negotiating. We kill these people because they want to kill us first. It's not. We don't live in a moral vacuum. We live in a very, very odd, dangerous time. These people their lives need to be terminated. They want to kill us, and this is how people expect the commander.
And they want to be killed because they want to go to the next life.
The Gitmo line's important too. We're not sending them to Sandals for a vacation anymore.
Right.
They're going to
the Gitmo line was trending on social media. Folks really liked that line. Now, what did you make of them the Democrats choosing Joe Kennedy to make the speech after the president? Because, a Democrat makes a speech or the opposing party makes a speech after the president makes the State of the Union.
Maybe they'll pick Chelsea Clinton next. I mean, talk about a weak bench. They have nobody. I mean, look at what they have. They have Bernie Sanders, who's a devout socialist. They have Elizabeth Warren, who just doubled down on the "you didn't build that." Right. I mean, what's next?
So let's go ahead and take a look at his soundbite. Here he is, Mr. Kennedy, talking about the past year under Mr. Trump.
Many have spent the last year anxious, angry, afraid. We are bombarded with one false choice after another. Bullies may land a punch. They may leave a mark. But they have never, not once, in the history of our United States, managed to match the strength and spirit of a people united in defense of their future.
A lot of people are talking about the Vaseline on his lips.
Yeah,
Chapstick.
Yeah, what is he, a mixed martial arts fighter? You know, they Vaseline up your face.
But
like
obviously the
Louisiana.
Kennedy resemblance is there. He was a student under Elizabeth Warren, and that was the message. It was well delivered, though, right?
Yeah, well, you know, the difference is John F. Kennedy actually engaged in one of the largest take-home pay tax cuts in American history. That is not this Kennedy now. Matter of fact, John F. Kennedy would be a Republican today. That's the irony of that speech.
I do want to bring it to this in the Washington Post, one of the stories on the front page.
Yeah.
The Internal Justice Department probes Andrew McCabe's role in the final weeks of the 2016 election. The Inspector General wants to know why he sat on Anthony Weiner's laptop emails for 3 weeks. Where's this going? And who wrote this story?
Andy McCabe is in a world of trouble right now. Let's be clear. Andy McCabe's number 2 at the FBI during 2 critical investigations. The Trump investigation, the CIA investigation, counterintelligence investigation, and the investigation into Hillary Clinton. And what he's going to have to answer for is how did Hillary Clinton skate and how did Mike Flynn get prosecuted based on an interview on a false...
Who wrote this story?
Devlin Barrett.
Why does that matter?
It matters because Peter Strzok, who's the number 2 in the counterintelligence division, intimately involved in this case, is texting his paramour there, Lisa Page, and mentions Devlin Barrett as their reporter.
So they were leaking. They were leaking to the Washington Post. Now he's writing the story.
While he was at the Wall Street Journal, he was their source to leak it too, which is fascinating.
Dan, thank you very much for joining us 2 days in a row.
2 days in a row, no sleep.
Right.
I love you guys.
And no Under Armour T-shirts or heat.
Nothing.
All right.
Muscle.
Yeah, absolutely. Still ahead.